Hi everyone, my name is Amber. Welcome back to my channel. This is my December new releases video for December 2023, in which I'm going to talk through my most anticipated book releases of December, or maybe just the most popular ones which you might also be interested in. I like to give a mixture of books that I know that you guys are probably going to like and ones that I might get to eventually. We're going with some nice green mood lighting today. Before I begin, please like and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. Leave an emoji or a comment to let me know that you are here, and with that, let's get going. So I think I've only got 24 books on my list today, which is a lot shorter than previous months because publishers tend to publish the most books at other points in the year, because obviously people have mostly already done their Christmas shopping or have started planning for it, so they want to get the books out and hyped up sooner, so they don't tend to release too many books in December. But there are some really popular books coming out in December which I would like to talk about. So first of all, we have Heartstopper Volume 5. I've never read the Heartstopper books, to be honest. I don't really know if I would enjoy them because I don't really love YA contemporary anymore, so let me know if you think I would get on with them. I am open to trying. Then we've got Ruthless Vows, the sequel to Divine Rivals, which at the point of recording this I haven't read yet, but hopefully I will have read it by the time this video goes up, because I really need to read and recap it for my website Recaptions. I don't think it's going to be a complex enough book for me to do a video recap on. I don't know if there are like tons of characters that I need to get up on the wall and talk you guys through, but we'll see. Once I've read it, I'll see what I'm feeling like. Maybe I'll do a video recap. And then we have the final Plated Prisoner book. Finally, this is called Gold, and I probably will be reading it so that I can finish off the series. I don't like the series. I've given every single book 1, 2 or 3 stars. It started off badly and then it got a little bit better, and then the quality just deteriorated again. So this is about a woman who is basically a slave to King Midas from the Greek stories, and she is kept in a cage and she has to do whatever he wants. And she thinks at the beginning of the first book that she is in love with Midas, but it's basically just Stockholm syndrome, so don't worry, she definitely doesn't love Midas. And then later on in the series there's an actual love interest, and it gets a little bit more interesting before it starts to, like I said, deteriorate and get kind of boring. So yeah, this is the final book in that series. We have This Spells Love by Kate Robb. This I think is like a witchy contemporary book, kind of like the X-Hex, it sounds like. It says here that reeling from a recent breakup, a young woman tries to heal heartbreak with a spell, only to wake up in an alternate reality where she's lost more than she wished for. I really enjoy time travel and parallel universe, alternate reality stuff, so that's why this one caught my eye. The Fake Mates. This one is a romance book about 2 wolf shifters, and I have to say I'm really enjoying that the romance genre is expanding into stuff that I probably would have read as fan fiction as a younger person, and including magical elements and introducing like paranormal romance, but romance it's heavier on the romance side than the paranormal side. I do really enjoy urban fantasy and paranormal romance, but I'm really enjoying this shift into something that's a bit more contemporary like, but just with wolf shifters or vampires or something. The Vacation House. This one is a thriller book. It's partly set in Paxos in Greece, and it's also partly set in London, England. It says here that on Paxos, the vacation house is a luxury getaway for a wealthy English family. One hot summer night, while the parents and their friends drink wine and amuse themselves, a young woman, the teenage daughter of the Greek caretaker, ventures on a walk on their private beach, and her life will never be the same again. And then it mentions something about 10 years later. I'm not going to read the whole synopsis because I don't like doing that for thrillers. I'm very interested in this one, especially if it's split dual timeline. You sort of see some flashbacks and some back and forth between the past and present day. I am interested in picking this one up. The Other Mothers. This is another thriller mystery book. This one is about a young nanny who dies under mysterious circumstances, or I guess it's more about her death, and the main character is called Tash. She is a new mum, and Tash is certain that she would be able to cover this story of the nanny because Tash is a journalist and she wants to relaunch her career, so she's going to be profiting off of this young nanny's death. I'm looking forward to reading it. I think it sounds quite good and dramatic. The Curse of Penrith Hall. This one is a gothic mystery. It's set in Cornwall, which is a place that I went to this year and absolutely loved, so I definitely want to go back there and also read more books set there. So I think this might be a historical fiction, gothic fiction. The synopsis is kind of waffling, so that doesn't really say good things about the writing, but I am willing to give this a go, and also I quite like the cover. Sable Peak. This is the 6th Eden's book, I think the series is called. I haven't started this series, but it's one that I've had my eye on for quite a while, and again I'm not sure I want to definitely read this, and I'm not sure if I'll get on with the series because I'm quite picky about my romance, but I really like the covers for this series and I've heard some good things, so I might give it a go. What Waits in the Woods. This one is another thriller book. This month is just full of thrillers apparently. So this is about a young dancer whose homecoming is marred by a grisly discovery discovery and the realization that nothing in her past may be quite what she believed. It's very vague, but it's a thriller, so I'm not going to read the whole synopsis. A River of Golden Bones. This one says that it's by a TikTok sensation, but I'm not on TikTok, so I've never heard of this author. At least I don't think I have. This is the first book in a romantasy trilogy. We all know it's blowing up. It's on the Goodreads Choice Awards now. It says here that this follows two twins, Calla and Briar, who have spent their entire lives hiding from the powerful sorceress who destroyed their kingdom, and from the humans who don't know they are wolves. Each twin has their own purpose in life. Briar's is to marry the prince of an allied pack and save the Golden Court. Calla's purpose is to reign a secret, her twin's shadow, the backup plan. So I don't know if this is about like shapeshifters or something. A wolf kingdom, monster-filled realms, I don't know. I think it sounds quite interesting. That's why I put it on this list. The Frozen River. This one is a historical mystery book. It sounds quite atmospheric, I think. It says here that it's inspired by the life and diary of Martha Bellard, a renowned 18th century midwife who investigates a shocking murder that unhinges her small community. It's set in Maine in 1789. The river is frozen and it entombs a man in the ice. Martha Bellard is summoned to examine the body and determine a cause of death. And then it covers some darker topics as well. Sounds like it's thrilling, tense. Really looking forward to reading this one. Two Dead Wives by Adele Parks. This one is about an overprotective father who is apparently living as a recluse. His daughter, who is an adult, she returns from Paris, I think, where she has been living, and she needs brain surgery. And then the father seems to come out of his shell, weirdly, and seems really happy that she is back with him. So I think this is going to be a really interesting father-daughter dynamic and an interesting look into parental relationships. I imagine it's going to cover abuse. So I'm going to go into this one quite cautiously, but I am looking forward to giving it a go at some point. Raiders of the Lost Heart. This one is about rival archaeologists, and I love that so much. It says here that rival archaeologists must team up on a secret Aztec expedition, or it could leave their careers and hearts in ruins. I love the sound of that. It's a romance book, obviously, about archaeologists, which amazing. Yours for the Taking. This one is a apocalyptic book, I think. It's set in 2050. Ava and her girlfriend live in Brooklyn, or what's left of it. They're finding the whole climate change thing quite challenging on their relationship because the changes are becoming quite rapid and intense. It says here the only people guaranteed survival are the ones whose applications are accepted to the Inside Project, a series of weather-safe city-sized structures around the world. This sounds kind of like Fallout, where people are trying to get people all into the vaults and make people sign up for it. So I'm interested to see how they're approached by these people who have made the Inside Project, and if the Inside Project is kind of dodgy. So the connections or slight similarities to Fallout is what drew me to this book. That's Not My Name. This one is about a teenager who wakes up on the side of a road with no memory. She doesn't know how she got there or who she is, and then a police officer comes by and takes her to the police station, and then shortly after a man arrives and he seems really frantic. He says he's been searching for her for hours, and he also has her ID, birth certificate, family photos, and he says her name is Mary. So this is a mystery thriller book. I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I think it sounds really good. This Cursed Light. This one is the sequel to This Vicious Grace, which is about a woman who has been gifted by the gods and she can kill every suitor that she touches, and I think it's probably not her choice. I haven't read the first book yet, and it's one that kind of went under the radar last year. I think it came out last December, which isn't really a good time for fantasy series to start, I don't think, from the sounds of it. I think publishers tend to release a lot of fantasy books in January to March, and then they go on a little bit of a break. So yeah, interesting that this one is flying under the radar, but it does sound quite good, I think. Here in the Dark. This one is a psychological suspense kind of novel. It says here that it's about a young theatre critic who is drawn into a dangerous game that blurs the lines between reality and performance. This one's kind of like bottom of this list, to be honest, just because I'm not a massive fan of like theatre in books. I really enjoy going to the theatre myself, but any time I read about characters who are involved in the theatre, I get really annoyed with them and I find them really pretentious, because I think authors tend to think that's the only type of way you can write theatre kids, which is really frustrating. So I'm not sure I'm going to pick this one up, but I'm going to wait for some reviews and see what I think. Lest She Forgets. This one is about a woman who wakes up in hospital. She has been in a coma and she survived a car crash, and she's now got amnesia, no identity, no clue what's going on. She starts having flashbacks and has to see a psychiatrist because obviously this is a lot, and she tracks down clues about her identity and tries to find out who she is. 5 Bad Deeds. This is another thriller book. This one focuses on revenge. I haven't really read much of this synopsis, so I can't really give you any details, but it says here that the main character has done something very, very bad. If only she knew what it was. That's intriguing. I don't know anything else about it, but I might give this one a go. Where the Dead Wait. I have this one as an ARC from NetGalley. I'm really looking forward to this one. This is a gothic horror book set in the Arctic. I think the characters are living in Victorian times and they go on a polar expedition. I think the main character ends up searching for one of his shipmates who has gone missing, and it says here that it's very vivid and immersive, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. I'm hoping it's going to be very atmospheric, and I'm hoping to read this one as part of a reading vlog, so fingers crossed I can fit it in. The Weekend Retreat. This is about a bunch of rich siblings who gather every year for their birthdays, and following this tradition they do that in this book, and then I think it turns into a bit of a thriller and there's rich people drama and stuff. And like I said in my last new releases video, I really enjoy reading rich people drama and rich people getting killed or murdered and kind of getting what's coming to them. So I'm looking forward to reading this one and seeing how it is. Into Siberia. This one is a non-fiction book. I think it's kind of covering the relationship between the US and Russia in the late 19th century. It's about a guy called George Kennan who went to Siberia, I think in 1885, to kind of figure out what was going on over there and to learn more about the exile system. And it says here that his eyes were open to the brutality Russia was wielding to suppress dissent. So I'm looking forward to reading this one actually. I don't really know much about this time period in Russia. I think this will be a good one, hopefully, to give a go. And then finally, the last one is a fantasy book called The Dragons of Deepwood Fen. This one is by the author of the Shattered Sands series, you know, 12 Kings of something in the US. It's just called 12 Kings here. It says here that it follows an unlikely pair as they expose the secrets of the heart of the mountain city of Ankris. I haven't read the rest of the synopsis, but I imagine it's got dragons in it, which is really cool. I hope more and more books start coming out with dragons and that I don't really get bored of the genre, because that tends to happen when the market gets flooded with fantasy books or paranormal books with a certain type of creature in them, like vampires. Dystopian was a massive one a little while ago with like trials and sections, districts. But this one sounds quite good and I've heard really good things about this author. I've actually started the Shattered Sands series and I read part of the first book and I was loving the writing, but I keep basically, I've got a little bookshelf downstairs where I keep some books and I keep forgetting that I own them because I tend to focus on these shelves, and 12 Kings is down there and I've completely forgotten about it, and I keep thinking of it like periodically as well as the other books that are down there, and I just keep forgetting to pick it up. So I think I should probably bring those books up here instead of just leaving them downstairs, and then that little bookshelf down there can be like decorative or something. I can put like coffee table books on there, I don't know. But in summary, I would like to read this book. Those are the 24 books that are coming out in December that I'm looking forward to. This is a much shorter video than usual, it's about half the amount, but I hope this has given you some ideas of what's coming out in December, which ones I'm looking forward to. There are of course more releasing in December. There aren't only 24 books being published, but I don't think there were really any more that I was adding to my list. I'm just having a quick scroll through Goodreads now and it looks like there are some Greek mythology books, some historical fiction. I'm not really in the mood for any of that, and there are some books that are like re-releasing and being released in the US rather than the UK. Yeah, nothing else that I really want to add to this list, so I'm pretty happy with this one. Let me know if you are interested in any of these and if you think I should pick any of them up. Let me know if there are any others that I haven't mentioned that you think I should give a go or that you would like to shout about. Thank you for watching and I'll speak to you all in the next video. Bye.